This conference will now be recorded.
So on Friday, we have completed till standard value key. I remember we have done about what are the different parameters we can configure and where the standard value key will be assigned. That will be in my work center. Assembly. Okay, so this is the example or the existing work center what we have. And here we have SAP 1. That's what we have discussed. And we discussed about setup machine labor and how do we add if any other parameters we require. Okay, so I hope that was clear. Now coming to the further configuration from the work center, this determine the person responsible is something that is configurable in the projects, okay, or the system that you will be provided with. Sometimes your plant and 001 combination is not available. Okay, so we have this issue that from standard mostly we will have this 001, and you can use the standard because this is for the information purpose. Next thing is, if there is a requirement from the client that I have a dedicated person for this particular work center who will be taking care of it, then you can assign the name. Okay, so what we can do is we can just copy the entry and make it as Atul. Okay, or we can give only 3 letters, then ATL. Okay, we have to skip U in between, or something similar to that you can give, or you can give a number which is not available in the system because you cannot overwrite, and then works Atul as person responsible. Okay, so we can give the description here, or the description if you want for the work center as the client wants, we can give the entry, and then you will save it. So where exactly this will go? This will go here. Okay, so person responsible will be assigned here when you're creating a new work center, which we will see during the material master creation. Now under this work center, we also have called routing data, and then we have routing specific settings as well. Okay, so this particular routing data either you can define here, which is the most important is control key, or you can define here as well. Okay, so if you have defined here, then it's not required again to define here. So we'll discuss either which ways. Okay, so we have it open here, we will define it right now. So under the routing data, we have the important setting which is called a control key. Okay, so few of you guys might be already knowing the control keys, maybe have studied somewhere, but if you have not, then let us understand what is control key. So in standard, we get a lot of control keys, PI01, PI02, PI03. This will be required in my process industries. And then again, we have for plant and maintenance, we have PM. And then for discrete industries, we have PP. Okay. So we have PP01, PP02, and PP03 and 4 as well. So what exactly a control key does? Control key will control your operations as well as other important things. Okay. So why do we get it in the work center? Because if I go to default values, I can default a control key here. Okay, and I can default other things in my work center, which will be automatically copied as soon as I assign this particular work center in my routing, which will be my operations. So if I open any operations as well, CA03 is my transaction. Okay, so here my work center has been assigned. So if I default a control key, okay, which I have not defaulted, if I default any control key in this particular work center, and as soon as I assign this work center to operation number 0010, then what will happen? This particular control key will be assigned. Okay, I do not need to assign it one by one when we have when we are creating the works this routing. Okay, so once we are creating the routing as a master data, we need work center.
Did you record the session?
Yeah, I did. Okay, so we have to press the sorry, we have to assign the control key manually if you have not defaulted in the work center. So mostly we have not seen the default part because sometimes we would need PP01, sometimes we would need PP02, and then the work center can be also same. Okay, in that case we will not default. So yeah, so defaulting can be done in the work center, and that's why the configuration is also available here. Now let us understand what is the control key functionality. Okay, one by one we'll go and see. If I open this PP01, then I see a lot of things available and a lot of check marks are checked and few are unchecked. So I have first indicator as scheduling, then we have detailed capacity requirements, inspection characteristics required. So if I select this and then my PP01 is assigned to a operation 0010, okay, then this particular operation time will be picked up during the creation of a like when MRP runs, the plan order is created. Okay, so plan order will have the operations. If you're doing a detailed scheduling, so there are two types of scheduling. One is basic scheduling, one is lead time scheduling. Okay, so lead time scheduling considers your time which you have defined in the operations. If I go towards my right, you can see which we have discussed on Friday. So I have defined some time here, right? And I want this time to be considered that operation 10 will take 60 minutes, 20 will take maybe 1 day, and 30 will again take some time. So my operation times has to be assigned somewhere when I'm creating the plan order. Then I will do a lead time scheduling. Okay, and if this check mark is not there, that lead time scheduling or the pulling of the time from the operation is not possible. So that is the significance of scheduling indicator here. Okay, then I have detailed capacity requirements. So each and every operation has a work center, and work center will have the capacity detail. Okay, this work center will have this capacity detail, that how much my machine is working, how much my person is working, that we will understand when we are creating a master data. So here we define the timings. Okay, so when I have a check mark over there, it will consider 1 minute. It will consider my capacities as well here. If I do not have this, my capacities will be also ignored. So for calculating the capacities, there are few prerequisites that we need to understand or configure. Then only my capacity will be calculated during the order release. Okay. Then I have inspection characteristics required. So what is inspection characteristics required? So in quality management, we have different inspection types. So inspection type number 3, which is in process inspection, that if you want to inspect any operations in between the production order. Okay, so one is after the product is created, you do an inspection, but you want to do something in between, that is called in process inspection. So how do you trigger that? If you are using the control key which has a check mark here, okay, and then you assign the master inspection characteristics to the operation, then your particular operation will be eligible to have one inspection lot. So that is the significance of this particular check mark. Automatic GR, which is a very important and most commonly used as well. It will be available in PP03 by default. Okay, so what is an automatic GR for me? If I want that my last operation, so if I have operation 30 or if I have operation 100, so I want that after doing operation 100, my product which I'm manufacturing should automatically go to a storage location that it is completed. Okay, else I need to do one manual step from MiGo that we will see during execution. If I want to skip that manual step, I want to give the ease to the user, then I can put a automatic check mark. Okay, automatic goods receipt. When I have print time ticket, so whenever we are doing confirmations, we are doing time confirmations. Okay, that means operation wise confirmation. So each operation will be also printed with this particular check mark. If you have a rework and you want to consider your rework, then you can put a check mark here for that particular operation. Printing confirmation, and then we have different print. Okay, so we have different transactions for printing. One is at the order header level, and then we have operation level. So these are different print if you are doing at the order level or if you are doing at the operation level. Okay, and then you have one more print. If I open this F1, and here you can see what exactly it will do. So this indicator specifies the following objects are taken into account when printing shop floor, such as time tickets or confirmation slips, if the specified by the control key you selected. So we have operations, we have activities and phases. So phases will come in the process industries, and then we have operations in the plant and maintenance and quality management. So I showed you we have different control keys for each and every module. Okay, so this particular check mark can be eligible if you are using it in quality management, if you're using in plant and maintenance, even in the production planning. Okay, and this setting is only taken into account if customizing of printing control list control for transaction. So I will show you this printing control when we are into the order types and order type dependent parameters, the settings for the orders. Okay, where exactly we have this. So yeah, so different type of printings are available from my control key. Okay, and then the again most important part.
Harsh,
Yeah.
specific print confirmation means the printing coming with respect to the operation, or what exactly happened?
So this is with the operation. Okay, if I open CO11 in, so this is time ticket, and here I need to give my operations. So if you have a check mark here,
Time means
print.
time printed on that part, or
No, 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 no. It's not about that. It is about that how much you are confirming. So you are giving yield. You are doing partial or full confirmation, right? So these things will be printed there based upon
okay,
the form you are using. What fields you want to print, it will be printed there. Okay, so there will
okay,
be some standard forms in SAP which will be picking up the details. So it will be showing you the order number. It will be showing you which operation you are printing. Was it a final print or a partial print? Okay, or a partial confirmation? How much you have given the yield? If it is partial confirmation, how much you have confirmed, and what are the activities you have confirmed? Okay, labor, machine, setup time, all those things will come up.
separate print paper.
Correct. So when you're doing as save, okay, there will be a print which will be triggered in the backend.
Okay, 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 understood.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what you
understand.
great. And then we have costing. Okay, so each and every operation has a cost related to it. So if you do not cost this particular material, particular operation, what will happen? You will not be able to find out how much setup time, machine time you have invested in producing the product. Okay, so if you double click here, there will be a costing indicator. Okay, so cost relevancy, this particular indicator. So if you are giving the control key, this particular indicator will be X. If you do not, then it will be blank. Okay, if it will be blank, you will not be able to cost this particular operation. Here it did not go. Okay, so yes, so costing indicator is again another important thing that should be available. Okay, if a client says no, I do not want to cost a material, then you can uncheck or create a control key customizable, which will not have different check marks, right? So in our projects, mostly we have seen that we have used the custom control key because few things client may not want, that I do not do confirmation on the order header level, then I can remove the check marks. I'm only doing at the operation level, then I can just place a check mark here because unnecessary prints will be coming up, wastage of paper. Okay, if I want to cost, yes, I have seen nothing like it has not be costed, everything has been costed. And if you want one control key to give you the option of milestone as well, then you will do a milestone. So what is a milestone? So in our life, whenever we see that we have achieved some milestone, okay, that means I have reached at certain point, correct? So that's the common understanding of a milestone. So what is a milestone in SAP and especially in PP? If I have 100 operations, okay, if I have 100 operations and I want that I want to confirm only last operation, I want to reach my milestone, but with my milestone I want everything to be confirmed, right? So I cannot just jump from 10 and I can confirm 100. Or in your life also, you cannot achieve smaller things and just reach to your goal, right? You have to pass through every hurdle and you will say that I have completed all those things and I'm marking as my milestone completed. Similar to this, if you have 100, 20, 30, 40, 50 till 100 and you want everything to be confirmed, but you want to confirm only last operation, then your milestone comes in the picture. Okay, so in the interview questions, this is a very common and very important question which asked by the panels, that I have 100 operations, I want to only confirm last operation and I also want my preceding operations to be confirmed. What can I do? Okay, what configuration or what things I can do? So we have to say that you have to use the control key which has an indicator of a milestone here. Okay, milestone confirmation. If you are using this, you can go ahead and confirm the last operation and all your preceding operations will be also confirmed. All right, so this is a milestone confirmation for me. And if you want confirmation required, that you want to hard code that without confirming my 20 I cannot move to 30, right? There is a check, so I have to do confirmation required. If I'm using number 3, that means confirmation not possible, that I do not want to confirm something like any operation I do not want to touch, then confirmation not possible. Even if you want to confirm it, system will say confirmation not possible because you have used that particular check mark here. And confirmation possible but not necessary, which is blank, that means I can ignore my settings. So there is some connection lost at the server end. Okay, so these are the few confirmations I have under my confirmations tab. Okay, that I can utilize, and different will be
First, that milestone confirmation we are doing in only PP01.
it is blank right now. So we have a dedicated key as PP03, okay, where we have milestone and we have auto GR as well. So this two goes hand in hand. They will go parallelly. So
Okay.
when I'm
So,
reaching my last operation, when I'm saying that this is my final operation and I want to confirm it with everything, right? So I also want automatic GR at that point. So that's why in standard PP03 they will go hand in hand. If you're using milestone, automatic GR will be also there, but it is not a like a hardcore rule that I will do it. Okay, I may not do it, so I can remove the automatic GR as well. And one another important thing is that you cannot have milestone in between. If you have assigned milestone in 20 and again you want to assign it somewhere in 50, that is not possible. Milestone can be assigned only in your last operation. You cannot say that 20 is also my milestone and 50 is also my milestone. System will not allow you. Okay.
So if we have 10 operations, so the
Hmm.
first 5 we need a milestone confirmation, the remaining 5 we need individual confirmation. So can we keep only one milestone confirmation at process 5? So 1 to 5 it will be confirmed, or that not possible?
Again, you want to do manual confirmation, right?
Yes,
In what,
because the
in what
first 5
scenario it
operations,
will be?
that's possible, right?
No, I don't think so. It is possible. The first thing,
Okay.
but I have not
Okay.
seen this type of requirement also. If someone says also that this requirement, then we can ask the client like why this kind of requirement. Why do you want to confirm only 5 operations and again you want to do manual activity,
Okay.
right? We can
Yes.
give any random requirements. That is fine, but we should have a logic behind that requirements. We cannot just take any garbage from the client, okay, because
Okay.
they want to experiment.
Yeah, and another one thing, has like if we see, we have seen a PP01, these are the defaults already there. So if the client is asking some modification in that, not much, so they don't need a print the confirmation. So if
Hmm.
that kind of thing, we need to create a new control
Control
key,
key.
or we can customize in the same thing.
No, no, no. So see, I am always saying that do not disturb the standard. Okay.
Okay.
If you have any requirement, even if single requirement about the printing, about the milestone, anything, you create your own
Okay.
control. Because
Fine.
tomorrow, if you are like making a change in the standard, you will not understand was it really a standard. You cannot compare, right? You cannot compare
Yeah.
that this was my standard and this is my customizable, what changes I have done. That will be very difficult to capture then. So always leave standard as is and you copy or create a new control key.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
So you can always
and one
copy.
more thing, we are assigning PP01 control key to every operation. How the system knows that this is my last operation and the system have to do the milestone confirmation. If your confirmation, we are giving in control keys this one
Milestone.
number milestone confirmation.
Hmm.
Yes, how the system knows that 100 number is my last operation and they have to do the milestone confirmation at the 100 operation.
So as soon as you assign this PP03 in your last operation, okay, system understands through the configuration and the coding what SAP has done, the programming, that this will pick up the last operation only. So once I have assigned this and I go to my this particular screen CO11N, okay, by
Mhm.
default system will pick up. If I open this operation as well, by default it will give me the last operation only. It will not show me 1 to 50, 1 to 90. It will directly show me 100.
Okay, okay. Means based on the production order confirmation you are telling, you are not telling operation wise confirmation. Huh?
No, no, no. We are giving order. So under the order,
Okay,
what we have 1 to 100 operation. Okay.
Yes, correct.
So if I'm giving order and if I'm not using milestone, then what I need to do, I need to give manually as 0010, then second operation 0020. So I have to go 10 times doing 100 operation, right? But
Oh,
this client says that no, I don't want to do 10 times of this activity. I want to do only last operation. So what we will do, we will do 100 operation here. Okay. But
yeah, understood.
if you are giving milestone, okay, and you are not giving entry manually and you open this, the system will give you what are operations you have. But when you are using milestone, automatically the only last operation will be showed where milestone is check marked using that control key. It will not give you other
Oh,
options also.
okay, okay, okay.
So that's how this milestone works. And this is definitely a very common scenario which will be asked to you during interviews, that I want to confirm everything and I want to confirm only last operation. How can I do it? So answer should be confirmation. You have to configure your control key or use PP03 in standard, which has milestone. Okay. And automatic GR case. And there is
Has
another.
can you tell any one example for the milestone? Like we understood the concept, but
We
so
will
in
do.
which
We will do in the execution. Don't worry. And then we have PP02. Okay, so what is different in PP02? I have externally processed operation. So say for example, I have 3 operations. Out of this, second operation has to go to a subcontractor. Okay, that I do not have my paint booth working, but I cannot stop my manufacturing. I would hire someone to paint my car, paint my churches and paint my car and give it back to me. And then I will install other things and I will give it to the customer, or I will finish my order, right? So any operation which is going outside to the vendor will have this particular externally processed operation. Then only it will give you a purchase requisition in the background. Okay, so to send it to a vendor, you will need a PO, purchase order. So for a purchase order, what you need? A purchase requisition first. Okay, either you can create manually, or if you want system to plan for you, then we would need that particular operation with control key PP02 in standard, which has externally operation check mark or a plus sign. And if we want to configure our own, then I can create my own control key and I can assign to a subcontracting operation. So we will see this particular scenario in my subcontracting operation class. Okay, but yes, how to trigger it? We can trigger it from externally processed in the control key. So yes, control key is something which is very important. It plays a lot of roles in PP guide. And then we have PP04. So it will be same. Okay, some check marks will be removed, few check marks will be added. So that's all we have here. Okay, based upon our requirement, we can also create our own control keys. But 1 to 3 will be used in our trainings, and it will suffice our requirement. Okay, it will fulfill our requirements. Then if you can close this, and then we have capacity planning. So if you want to do a capacity planning, first of all, we need to define the capacity categories. Okay, so here you have different categories which is available and how it is used. It is used in my display work center. I can go and I can go to capacity. Here I have machine and labor. Okay, so this will be defined here. So this is for the information purpose. You do not see a detailed check mark. So once you have assigned, you will have to do the okay, shift sequence and all those things are something if you want to maintain a sequence, as in my labor is working in A, B and C shift, right? Then you can define the shifting in the work center here. This is in display mode, but you can again go inside and you can put a check mark here, okay, that this particular guy is working in A, B or C shift. You can maintain the shifts here, which we are not maintaining right now in our work center. We are saying that this guy will work in one shift and it will be like 8 hours or 9 hours or some time that you are maintaining here. Start time and end time, based upon that operating time will come, okay, and based upon that your capacity is coming. And again, this will be one important role player which I will explain you when we are doing this work center creation. So whatever settings are coming up is coming from this particular configurations. The work center formulas are something which is important. Again, in standard we have different work center formulas, and this is the parameter what we have seen, just like in standard value key, okay, that you want to configure your formula on your own. You can also define the new entries, but in standard we do have lot of formulas which can be easily used, okay. So you want to calculate your setup time, you want to calculate your machine time and labor time, okay, or duration only, then we have different formulas. These are the parameters, and here you have the formulas, okay. So if you go to the product setup time, open this, here you are having only one parameter. That means you are calculating only setup time. If you have given some setup time in the operation and you want to capture that, you want to give this particular formula. And when I'm using this formula in the work center, you have to make sure that if you are using this particular formula in the capacity tab, we have two tabs. Here we have capacity and here we have scheduling tab. Two tabs we have. So if you're putting this particular formula in capacity tab, this particular should be check mark. If you're assigning this, you will get a warning, okay, a yellow color warning that this particular formula is not suitable for the capacities because it will not calculate your capacity. This indicator is not available. It will be good for my scheduling for this particular tab. Here, if you notice, I have assigned some formula and this will have this particular check mark. And if I go to my capacity, I have this particular formula. Go down, click on the formula, and I will have a check mark over here. So whenever you are assigning the formulas from the standard, also make sure that you are assigning the correct formulas in the correct field, okay, in the correct tab. So here also we have some setup requirements. Here we have some setup time. So this particular formula will be used in my capacity. Okay. And these are the parameters which are used. So here you will get formulas like SAP2, SAP9 and SAP8. So what is SAP2, SAP9 and SAP8? You need to go and verify in the parameters. Here you need to go and verify what is my SAP9, SAP8 and all those things. So here you have SAP8 as base quantity, SAP1 is your setup, SAP2 is your machine. Okay, here you have SAP9 as your operation quantity. So we have everything in standard. We can use the standard as well. So for costing as well, we have some costing formulas, or you can use any formula which has a check mark. So if you notice something that if I go to my costing tab, I'm using this SAP6 and SAP7, right? So SAP6 and SAP7 has the check mark. Select one and then click on formula. Here you can see the costing has allowed. Okay, So if this costing is not allowed, then again your costing will not be done, right? So any formula you're assigning to any tab, make sure you have that particular check mark available in the indicators tab. If it is not available, that particular function will not work as we want. Okay, that is the main thing. So this is all for my work center. Now, if I go to my routings, what are the important things? The very first thing is control data. And here I have some number ranges. So number ranges is by default maintained for the routings, and we have not, even like in my real project, I have not configured a new one. We have used the same one. So I have not seen somebody configuring the number ranges for the routings. Number ranges for the orders, yes, it is defined. Number ranges for the batch management, yes, if you want any specific number range for your batch to start with, then those things are required, but not for the routings. So similarly, we have number ranges for the operation sets, rate routing, that is for the this thing, repetitive manufacturing. And if we go to the process industries, there will be number ranges for the master recipe also. So those everything are falling under one number range umbrella only, under different task lists. So we have seen in the BOM, right, what are my material types which are allowed for the BOM, and what are the material types which are allowed at the component level. Similar to that, we have assigned material types for my routing, as in what material types I can create the routing for. So if you notice this task list type, zeros we have twos, and then we have n. Okay, this will be for my master recipe when I'm doing process industries, and then I will go down and then I will find n. N is for my routing. So you notice that these are the configurations which are done for these many material types. Okay, and you can see something ZHRR is also there. Okay, or YHRR is also there. So why do we need to assign this? So if a client is using a custom material type in finished product, they have done some enhancement and they have created a custom material type. They are not using FERT. So we have FERT and we have this. These both are material finish types. So if I do not assign this to my assignment of material types configuration, then as soon as I'm going to create CA01 transaction for this particular material, then it will say this particular material type is not allowed for routing. That's why we want to put any custom material type which is created during our project implementation to my routings as well. Okay, if I'm creating for semi-finished product, then I need to put for semi-finished product also. If I'm putting it for finished product, then I need to put it for finished product also. I hope that is clear. If you do not maintain, my routings will not be allowed to be created. So in the routing, even in the master recipe, we have different statuses. Okay, so we have status 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we will be using number 4 because this is released general. So we have this release indicator will be allowed, costing will be allowed, and consistency check I can do in my released. So if I only want to put it in the created mode, then what will happen? I will not be able to release my routing. Okay. And then if I am using number 2, it will be only released for the orders, but it will not be allowed for the costing. That if I'm running the standard cost estimate or finance guy is running a standard cost estimate, my operations will not be considered. Okay, I showed you the relevancy for costing, and then I told you each and every operation is costed, right? Even if you have done a check mark over there and you have created this routing of status 2, then during the standard cost estimate, it will be ignored again. That's why it is advisable that you create only for the status 4, which is released general. That means it has all the check marks. And this is very standard. Okay, nobody customize this statuses. And the usage, we will be using number 1, which is for production. We have seen this in the BOM as well, right? Usage 1 stands for my production. If I'm using for a plant and maintenance, there will be a different transaction and the usage will be 4. And if I'm using for the quality inspection, then it will be a different status. And that's all here under the operation data. So we have discussed about the control key. You will see the same configurations, so we can ignore this. Reduction strategy, wage type, wage group, this is not used because we are not paying right now through this information. We will be paying directly through the standard cost estimates, that there will be a rate which will be defined per hour, okay, by the costing team, and then they will be paying it. Yeah, these are not relevant right now. So under this, material type and control key and number ranges are something which is important, which I have also mentioned. Okay. Now we have something called as production planning. Under that, we have demand management. Okay. So what is a demand management for me? Anything which we are giving as a forecast or anything which we are entering considering the previous forecast is called as demand, and I'm how managing it. Okay, so in SAP we have planned independent requirements. In short, it is called as PIRs. Okay, so whenever we are starting our manufacturing activity, either it would be MTO or MTS, right? MTO is make to order, and then I would need a sales order. If I'm doing MTS, I would need something historical data based upon what I have decided that I'm going to produce this month, this many quantities, right? So how companies they decide? They decide by looking into a 6 months or 1 year or 3-year data, right? And then they come up with values that we have sold this much in the past, and then there was more requirement or more booking came for these many cars, and then if we produce this much, we will be still manage to sell all of them. Okay, so and also if you are into umbrella manufacturing, right? So during rainy seasons, there will be a higher demand. During the sunny seasons, there will be lesser demand. So based upon the products, there will be different demands which will be uh, decided by the companies, and then they enter the demand in the system. So where do we enter the demand? In the planned independent requirements in the active version. That I'll show you how. And what is the things which are in the behind, okay, which we are not seeing? We have planning strategies, we have requirement types and requirement classes. Number ranges, again, we do not maintain number ranges even in the real system, but requirement types and requirement types, sorry, requirement types and requirement classes and planning strategies are sometimes configurable. Okay, and also in standard there are so many strategies which will definitely help customer to achieve their requirements. So we have requirement types. Under this, we have define requirement types and allocate requirement classes. So we have different requirement types. So what I understand from here, I don't understand anything. Okay, if I was you, I will not understand anything. But I know few terms, LSF. Okay, if I give LSF, I see there is an entry here. Why there is an entry? We'll open one more screen and we'll cross check. Okay, so if you notice, we have LSF here, and this would be under my strategy number 10. If I open this, here you can see LSF, and here you can see requirement class is 100, which is defined over here. Okay, and we have KSL, and we have requirement class number 30, which is under my customer requirement. So this is how a strategy is made of, and this is how strategy will work for me in standard. Okay, so there will be a question as in what is a strategy made of. So it is made of my requirement class and requirement types. Okay, and I do have independent requirement types and customer requirement types. So if I have something over here, which is independent requirement types, class and requirement, then I will be able to enter the demand manually. And this is required in my MTS scenarios. If there is no entry here, I will not be able to give the demand. Okay. And if I do not have any entry here, my customer orders will not be able to understand that what type of orders we are giving and how the strategy will reduce them. Okay, there will be some concepts which will be coming in upcoming classes. So understand for now that this is my customer requirement. Whenever a sales order is created, this particular thing will be picked up there. And whenever we are creating demand, this will be picked up there. Okay, so we have 10, we will understand 10, we will understand 11, 20, 40 and 50. Okay, so we'll understand these 5 strategies in our training class. So we will see as LSF, we will see what is BSF, we'll see VSF, VSE. Okay, and if you notice 20 does not have this, because 20 is purely make to order scenario. If I open this, I do not have an entry here. That means any product who is using strategy number 20, if I enter the demand for that, it will not accept. Okay. So that's why I have showed you LSF and I have an entry here, and there is a coding behind that which SAP has done, that if you are using this particular combination, it will behave in a certain way. And if you press BSF, then there will be a different scenario which is connected over here. Okay, so many strategies, so many requirement classes are available there. You do not have to mug up everything, but understand what is the strategy and how it is made of. That's all. So there are some requirement classes which are available, which you can also configure here. But again, I have not done this so far. That means it may not be required. Okay, any one client out of 100 may ask for any customizable class, but mostly everything is done by the SAP, and they are giving the standard solutions which are definitely working as well. That's why even for me, after handling so many projects also, I did not configure anything like this. So this we have already opened, define strategy. Okay, here we have opened it. Let me close other windows. Okay. So under the planning strategy, we have defined strategy. If any customizable strategy has to be defined, then it can be done. And then in our training class, we'll see the MTS scenarios in 10, 11, 40. We'll see MTO scenarios in 20 and 50. Okay, make to order scenarios in 20 and 50. And we'll understand what are the challenges we have with different strategies, what are the things we can do with different strategies, and how it will behave. Okay. And then we have
Harsh,
defined strategy. Yeah.
excuse me.
Yes.
Is there any question from with respect to the strategy in interview? In which type of strategy you use? And
There will be set of questions, but it is too early
sorry.
to discuss the this questions right now because you have not seen the execution. So it will be mostly on the
Okay.
execution part. Okay, so interview questions from strategy will be from execution part. That I will tell you when we are doing execution.
Okay.
And then we have defined strategy group. So we have strategy and we have strategy group. So why we are assigning strategy group? Okay, because in my material master, I do not assign strategies, but rather I assign strategy group. If I go to any material, for example, and then MRP3 view, here you notice this is called a strategy group, not strategy. And we assign strategies here. Okay. So that's why there is a strategy group. It is logged by me only, that is fine. And if I open this, then I have one main strategy and 7 sub strategies I can assign. So this is one interview questions, very less used, but can be asked. Okay, that what are the different strategies you are aware of? Then you will say 10, 11, 40, 50, whatever we understand, and something maybe on your own as well. And then they will start on questioning the differences between these strategies. Okay, and out of 10 I have seen only one interviewer may be asking you what is a strategy group. Okay, then you have to assign tell that strategy group will be the combination of one main strategy and 7 sub strategies. Okay, so he will ask you what I can do with 7 sub strategies. So here you can assign different strategies also. So with 10, if you want to go with 40, if you want to go with 20, you can assign different sub strategies up to 7 level. But I have not seen so many strategies being used for one product. Okay, maybe you can use 10 and 40. What will be the combination? Then we will understand during the execution. If I explain you right now, it will be a bouncer. Okay, but understand strategy group is one main strategy and 7 sub strategies. If you answer this, and then it will be more than enough. If some execution questions will come, that we will cover during execution. Similarly, if you go for 40, here you will have one main strategy. So from standard, there will be no sub strategies for sure. Okay, and then we have assign MRP group to a strategy group. So here if I go to my material master once again, in the MRP1 I have MRP group. So under Mahindra I have Thar, I have XUV 300, 700, Scorpio, and so many other models. Okay, KUV, electric, whatever. So if that is the case, okay, and then they say I am going to maintain every model in the same strategy, then what is option for us? We can maintain strategies one by one in each and every model, or I can do the clubbing of the strategy in MRP group. So if I assign, this is only limited options I am giving you. What if you have 100 materials? Okay, so in the 100 materials, what you can do, only assign the MRP group, and then you assign the strategy in the MRP group. Then everything or all the items will be behaving in the similar way. Okay, so if you see, there is a plant and then you have different MRP groups. 100, sorry, 000, 001 and 002 we have from 1710 and so on. So if I go inside, here I can give one planning strategy. So if I assign 10 or 20 or 40, whatever I want for those many materials, that means it is reducing my master data work. Okay. And even if client says that I do not want to maintain individually for everyone and I want to plan it somewhere else, can I do it? Then MRP group can be your answer. Okay. MRP group will go in MRP1 and my strategy group can be blank here. So this is how you will define strategy or understand strategies. Executions we will understand after we created the material master, and then we will do the execution. So I can stop here. Okay. And then tomorrow we'll take it ahead with required configurations. So this is what we have done. We have to discuss about the lot sizing as well. So tomorrow we'll discuss about lot sizing procedures, and then we can go ahead with the configurations.